Welcome to Whale News for the second half of February 2026. So, this month has had some cautious optimism for those that are emotionally invested in the southern resident killer whale population. Over 2 months since the last sighting of L-Pod, the great L4s, were spotted off the southernmost area of Vancouver Island this month, accompanied by a brand new calf, L129. These were spotted by the Centre for Whale Research. L129 was spotted with L55 and L103. Both of these are females and could feasibly be the mother. L103 is L55's daughter, and L55 is 49 years old. This also, if it was L103, it wouldn't be L103's first calf either. Now, L55 and L103 both could be the mother, but it is not yet known. Observers from the Centre for Whale Research were unable to make a reasonable assumption as to which of the females the mother could be. The female having a calf at 49 years old is rare but not impossible. And the calf was only seen in echelon position with L55. Now, if you don't know, echelon position is when a mother orca positions her calf behind the dorsal fin in an attempt to reduce water drag and therefore reduce energy consumption for the calf while swimming. I will leave a link to the encounter in the description. It's encounter number 15. Helicopters in Washington State, USA, have been dropping logs into rivers in an attempt to restore salmon habitats that were stripped away by human activity. These logs can provide shelter and slow down the water currents of the rivers. This creates deeper pools within the rivers that will help avoid salmon spawned in these pools from being washed downstream. From previous logjam experiments in the late 2000s and mid 2010s, it is not clear whether this will have a noticeable impact. But at least it's a measure in the right direction. Chinook salmon is a keystone species in the Northwest Pacific, with the whole ecosystem affected by how the salmon population is doing. By the way, the Northwest Pacific refers to the region of landmass in North America. It's the region of landmass which borders the Pacific on the northwest part of the landmass. Because technically, geographically, if we're talking about the Pacific Ocean, it's the northeast of the Pacific. Just thought I'd make that differentiation for anyone international, wondering why it's northwest. So if this even has a small impact on salmon recovery, then we're very much supportive of it. However, most marine experts will agree that the biggest thing that can be done to help Chinook salmon in this area and the recovery would be to remove the 4 dams in the lower Snake River. If you're interested in a documentary on this subject, go look up The Snake and the Whale. It's a fantastic documentary. I would recommend having a watch. Also this month, down to South Africa, a very rare pod of orcas was spotted in Algoa Bay. Now, very little is known about them, but over the past few years it's become clear that they do periodically visit, with a couple of sightings per month around February to May. And they've been described as this being their home area, where they visit everywhere else, but they always come back here. A research group on the whales in the region, Sea Search, is trying to study these orcas, but they rely very heavily on non-research collaborators such as boat captains, the general public, and they're appealing to anyone that may find themselves on the water with these orcas to, first of all, report the sighting, and if you can, try and get good, clear photos of them. Probably the best photos that you could get of these will be of the dorsal fins, and if you can, get the saddle patches The saddle patch is a little grey area behind the dorsal fin. Eye patches would also be good as well. Trying to get photos from parallel position is ideal, but any photos that have identifying features would definitely help them out. I will leave a link in the description to somewhere where you can actually reach out to them and submit those photos if you have got them. Also, when you're taking these photos, it's pretty important. Record the date, and if you can, GPS as well. That will definitely help them out. Now, over to the South China Sea, where chemicals that are used in the production of phones and TV screens have been detected in the brains, blubber, and muscles of dolphins and porpoises within the South China Sea. A study by the University of Hong Kong has found that these chemicals are likely ingested through consuming prey. So these chemicals are in the fish, and the fish are eaten by the dolphins. The chemicals involved are labeled as forever chemicals, which means they just stay. They don't go. They stagnate within the body of the animal, and they can cause stillbirth, birth defects, reduced immune system, and increase cancer rates within these cetaceans. A study conducted in New Caledonia on humpback whales has revealed that age is now becoming more of a factor in breeding success within the population. The population was close to extinction around 50 years ago as a result of whaling. And during the recovery, it was the younger males that were fathering most of the calves during the recovery period. But a study by the University of St. Andrews has revealed that in the last couple of decades, this trend has shifted to older males being able to outcompete those younger males. And this shift has been attributed directly to their recovery following human impacts on the population. Scientists use DNA genetics to determine paternity to be able to work out which males are having the most amount of success. And they also use a technique called epigenetic molecular clock, and this is used to determine the whale's age. They obtain small skin samples from the animals to be able to conduct both of these studies, the genetics and the epigenetic molecular clock. And lastly, viewers of the podcast will be happy to hear that we actually have shark content finally again. So, our last news article for today is that, well, have you ever heard the theory that when an orca predates upon great white sharks, the great white sharks will leave the area because of the predation? A recent study by Reeves et al. In 2026 looked at this very theory, and they studied the area of the Neptune Islands at the south of Australia and found that while orca predation can cause the exodus of great white sharks, note can cause, that this is not the only cause of this, and that this may be more of a periodic trend caused by other factors and not necessarily caused by orca predation, as we thought before. They studied times when there was an exodus of great white sharks where there were no sightings of orcas in the area at all. So that was the news. Thank you for watching. Write in the comments, what was the most interesting news article that you think we covered today? And if you want to support the channel, please like and subscribe the video. And check out the other videos that we've got on the channel. We don't just have news stuff. We have a podcast. We also have more documentary-style video essays. We're going to be having more of those coming out soon. And yeah, thank you for watching and have a good rest of your day.